Hello students, today I am going to discuss the topic methods for handling deadlock, that is how to prevent deadlock and how to avoid from deadlock. Firstly, we can deal with the deadlock problem in one of the following three ways. We can use a protocol to prevent or to avoid deadlock, ensuring that the system will never enter a deadlock state. Second is we can allow the system to enter a deadlock state, detect it and recover. And third is that we can ignore the problem altogether and pretend that deadlock never occur in the system. Basically, to ensure that the deadlock never occurs, the system can use either a deadlock prevention or deadlock avoidance. In deadlock prevention, it provides a set of methods for ensuring that at least one of the necessary conditions cannot hold. And in deadlock avoidance, we require that operating system be given in an advance additional information concerning which resource a process will request and use during its lifetime. Firstly, we will discuss what is deadlock prevention, how to prevent from a deadlock. For a deadlock to occur, each of the four necessary conditions must hold. For by ensuring that at least one of these conditions cannot hold, we can prevent the occurrence of a deadlock, and we can elaborate on this approach by examining each of the four necessary conditions separately. First is a mutual exclusion. The mutual exclusion condition must hold for not shareable resource. For example, a printer cannot simultaneously shared by several processes. Shareable resources, in contrast, do not require mutually exclusive access and thus cannot be involved in a deadlock. Read-only files are a good example of shareable resource, and if several processes attempt to open a read-only file at the same time, they can be granted simultaneously access to the file. Second condition is hold and wait. To ensure that hold and wait condition never occurs in the system, we must generate that whenever a process requests a resource, it does not hold any other resource. One protocol that can be used required each process is to request and be allocated all its resource before it begins execution. An alternative protocol allows a process to request resources only when it has none. A process may request some resources and use them before it can request and additional resources. However, it must release all the resources that it is currently allocated. Both these protocols have two main disadvantages. First is that resource utilization may be low since resources may be allocated but unused for a long period of time. And second is the starvation is possible. A process that needs several popular resources may have to wait indefinitely because at least one of the resources that it needs is always allocated to some other process. Third is no preemption. The third necessary condition for a deadlock is that there may be no preemption of resources that have already been allocated. To ensure that this condition does not hold, we can use the following protocol. If a process is holding some resources and requests another resource that cannot be allocated immediately to it, then all resources currently being held are preempted, and in other words, these resources are implicitly released. The preempted resources are added to the list of resources for which the process is waiting, and the process will be restarted only when it can regain its old resources as well as the new one that it is requesting. This protocol is often applied to resources whose state can easily be saved and restored later, such as CPU registers and memory space. It cannot generally be applied to such resources as printers and tape drives. That is the fourth and final condition for deadlock is the circular wait condition. One way to ensure that this condition never hold to impose a total ordering of resource types and to require that each process request resources in an increasing order of enumeration. For example, let the set of resources will be the R, that is R1, R2 and Rn be the set of resources, and the R includes a tape drive, disk drive and a printer. Then the function might be defined as for the tape drive it will be the 1, for the disk drive it will be the 5, and for the printer it will be 12. The function might be defined as follows for tape drive 1, for disk drive 5, and for printer 12. We can now consider the following protocol to prevent deadlock. Each process can request resource only in an increasing order of enumeration. That is, a process can initially request any number of instances of a resource type, say R. After that, the process can request instances of resource type Rj Rj if and only if the function of Rj is greater than the function of Ri. If a several instances of the same resource types are needed, a single request of all of them must be issued. Keep in mind that developing an ordering or hierarchy in itself does not prevent deadlock. It is up to an application developer to write the program that follows the ordering. Thank you.